character just looks a little bit more human than what I feel we get in like Street Fighter or Tekken, proportion-wise. So I kind of like that as well. And I also feel like, wouldn't this be like the greatest comeback of all time if this game does well? What's up guys, TheMainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always. We are now gonna watch the Virtua Fighter Wolf Hawkfield teaser trailer. I watched this briefly a few days ago on stream. I didn't do a video on it, but I do want to do it now for YouTube. I just want to get my thoughts out there regarding Virtua Fighter and regarding how I thought about the redesign of Wolf here. So we're just gonna let it roll here. The Wolf Pack. My god, that's so awesome. I've got chills. The Wolf Pack. Now, he was always a ginger. No, he was. Right, so that's the trailer. In my opinion, the redesign is a win. It has to be said that almost any redesign would have been an upgrade on the old Wolf. In my opinion, this should have happened like 15 years ago. Designs were always so lackluster, so dated, so bland, so shit. This should have happened a long time ago. And this looks much better, much more realistic, grittier. Wolf looks more badass now. I think it's a really cool redesign, but yeah, as some people have pointed out, he looks a little bit like, what's the Zelda boss, Ganondorf or something. I would have loved to hear some dialogue, hear his voice. I would have loved to see some gameplay from Virtua Fighter 6. Considering we've seen so little gameplay, I'm wondering how far away from launch is this game? But also the muscle physics are fucking amazing. You'll note when he moves and flexes, you know, in Tekken, they have a system to like increase the size of the mesh, the model, to make the muscles bigger. They'll show a different texture when we do charge up attacks. You'll see Kazuya when he charges his down for 3, 2, 1, or when he does his punch parry, Amare, he goes red and he gets like super fucking shredded, like 1% body fat. But here, what we actually seem, they have like muscle physics here. That the muscle mass is like bouncing, wiggling, which is super cool, and it's it adds that realism that's so fucking sick. What I also like is that while Wolf is fucking gigantic and super ripped, super shredded, there's just something about the proportions and the way he's modeled that makes him resemble more an actual human being. Don't get me wrong, it's literally like Prime Kane, WWF, or The Rock. The character just looks a little bit more human than what I feel we get in like Street Fighter or Tekken. In Tekken, every single character is huge. Like, it doesn't matter if you're looking at Brian, I think even Lee, if you remove his shirt now, he's a fucking bodybuilder. But Wolf here, who's supposed to be the biggest guy in Virtua Fighter, he's the grappler. I feel like physique-wise, he resembles more what you have on like Kazuya, maybe? Again, don't get me wrong, he's still huge. I'm just saying that I expected him to come out and look more like Zangief, akin to this. There's a notably more realistic look in this game. Where in Tekken, everyone looks like a fantasy character. Same in Street Fighter. This actually looks like a guy who is on a copious amounts of juice and gear. But it looks more human, in my opinion, proportion-wise. So I kind of like that as well. And I also hear that it is the Yakuza team, right, at Sega developing the game. So one of Sega's best development teams. I don't follow the Yakuza series, but I hear they're doing amazingly well with those games. So we know this game is in good hands. I like what I'm seeing. I'm really looking forward to seeing some gameplay. I hope the game is really good. I think Tekken could use some competition. I think we would all love to see another 3D fighter that's good. It's unfortunate that the game is like 2 years away, because I don't know if it's 2 years away, but considering we have no gameplay, I'm assuming it's still far away. But it's a shame it's not like only a few months away, because the timing right now would have been so good. With Tekken 8 Season 2 being so bad, it's getting better now with the patches. You know, Marian Harada visibly shaken at their EVO Japan presentation. Very humble now, and just go like, we're gonna try and fix this. Thanks, guys, for coming to play our broken game. You know, which was good. They take ownership of a fuck up. And now they're doing patches to fix the game. But it's like, could you imagine if this game had been like 2-3 months away? Would have been really good timing to shake up the 3D fighter scene and just the fighting game scene. I'm yet again going to say that Virtua Fighter is an extremely aggressive game. I always preferred Tekken. I mean, you know, I started out with Tekken, but I tried Virtua Fighter already with Virtua Fighter 2, Virtua Fighter, and then I didn't play Virtua Fighter 3. I think that was Dreamcast. But then I certainly played the PlayStation 2 games, which was Virtua Fighter 4, Virtua Fighter 4 Evo. And I liked those games, but never preferred it over Tekken because of, well, what we cherish the most about Tekken, which is the movement. And how you can play range 0, you can play mid-range, how sidesteps work in Tekken, that in Virtua Fighter, a sidestep is more akin to a parry. It's not an actual like 3D space movement where, depending on the properties of attacks, they can actually track you. In Virtua Fighter, you just tap up, I think, to sidestep. It either works or it doesn't. There's no middle ground. It's not like Tekken where it's like actual interactive 3D movement, and that depending on what your opponent does, he might track you or not. Virtua Fighter in general is just a very, very aggressive game where you don't want to block too much, because guard breaks are so widespread. This is where it started with guard breaks. And to be honest, this is where it started with a lot of stuff. Tekken just ripped off Virtua Fighter. Even from the start, you know, like Tekken 1, I think the director even, and lead game designer was a Virtua Fighter guy. And then with Tekken 3, Tekken 4, like what inspired those games? Virtua Fighter. Where did Bound come from? Tekken 6, Virtua Fighter. And Tekken 4, you know, it was so innovative, you know, having like uneven ground and walls. They did it first with Virtua Fighter 3. You know, always ahead of its time, you know, the Virtua Fighter developers. But yeah, you do get penalized for blocking due to guard breaks, and also everyone is a grappler in Virtua Fighter. You know what King does in Tekken? If he wants to, from a crouch dash, he can put you in a freeway mix-up. Where he crouch dashes, they all look the same. A 1 break or a 2 break or a 1+2 break. That's a freeway mix-up. But only King can do that. In Virtua Fighter, every single character can do that from standing. Not from a crouch dash. Simply from standing and with 10 frame startup on the throw animation. And also they don't play like keep out or mid-range. There's no real movement like Tekken. They always stay up close, and it's just, you know, aggressive is the name of the game. But as any Virtua Fighter player will tell you, still a very beautifully designed gameplay, and very fair in that it's very aggressive, but all of that aggression has counterplay, including the throws. There's counterplay to everything, and the characters are all very unique and do very different things. It's just that people looking to be Tekken refugees because they feel Tekken is too aggressive, this game will like double down on aggression. As aggressive as Tekken 8 Season 2 can be, this game is more aggressive. But you know, depends on what you like. I am hoping for the absolute best for this game. The question is how this will play though, because what I just described is legacy Virtua Fighter gameplay, and we don't know how Virtua Fighter 6 is going to play. But it looks great so far. And I love the stage we saw with Akira, where it's like a remote village look. It's so detailed and gritty and realistic. I love the way that stage looks. And I'm assuming this is going to be like a wolf stage, like a wrestling arena. So that's going to be sick as well. The developers have proven themselves so many times with the Yakuza games that maybe they can pull off a Virtua Fighter title as well. And I also feel like, wouldn't this be like the greatest comeback of all time if this game does well? Virtua Fighter stopped being a thing with Virtua Fighter 5, in my opinion. Virtua Fighter 5 never went well. And that dropped in like, what, 2006, 2007? It's almost 2 decades now of irrelevancy. In a very absurd fashion, re-releasing Virtua Fighter 5 over and over, over and over, over and over, with the same flaws. Over and over. And guess what? It flopped every single time. Because it didn't work the first time, for obvious reasons. So why re-release the same package over and over? But now, we're doing what we should have done 15 years ago. Grittier, cool redesigns, make the characters pop, make them cool, make people want to play as them, you know, and the graphics look on point. So I'm really, really hoping for the best here, and I can't wait to see, you know, get to see what we see next. So yeah, just wanted to get my thoughts on Virtua Fighter out there. Have a great day.